What's up, everybody? We are at the foul line for this drill. We are going to teach you how to level up your bowling release. Now, Kyle, how exactly do we level up our bowling release?
All right, well, we're going to start with step one right here. So I'm going to get into it. We're at the foul line because we're going to start with the no step. So especially for you beginners out there, this is where we have to start. Now, this is for one-handed bowlers. Two-handed, we'll get into that. But for one-handed bowlers, first we have to learn to release the ball properly. And what we mean by that is that when we're going to release the ball, our thumb clears and then our fingers follow through. So thumb out first, fingers. So the best way to do this, take the whole approach out of play. Get up to the foul line here. You're just gonna get set, maybe a couple little baby swings. And all I'm worrying about here is my thumb coming out and my fingers following it after. So just do it. I'm not really trying to hook the ball. I'm just releasing it.
You're getting the ball into the lane quickly.
Yeah, into the lane.
Offhand.
Yeah. Wow, okay. So yes, off my hand, all we're worrying about here is getting the thumb out and then fingers following it second. I'm not really worrying about rotation. I'm not worrying about a lot of things here. We're just trying to get the ball off our hand the correct way.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, if you're gonna improve a bowling, you're gonna improve everything foul line positioning. I mean, you're gonna become a master at the foul line. So that's essentially what we're trying, just to eliminate everything else. Let's work on some foul line stuff.
So again, and when you're practicing this at home, you know, doing a bunch of these, especially if you don't have a good feeling, even for you higher level bowlers out there, if you don't have a good feel of your thumb exiting and you're feeling your fingers coming through the bowling ball, try these. Try 10, 15. For your beginner bowlers, try more. You can work on this for half an hour if you want to. Like you should beat this into your head for one-handers out there. So again, I'm just here, little practice swings. You see how I'm not bringing the ball way back out here? I'm just keeping it right here, very slow speed. Thumb's gonna come out first. Fingers following. Now that was terrible.
Down into the lane, that's gonna be a strike.
No, that was awful.
Not gonna be a strike.
That was Brad's thumb that just didn't come out. So that was what not to do right there. But again, all I'm working on here is foul line, thumb coming out, and I'm feeling my fingers following through the ball. That's step one.
Once we get done with that, we have 0 steps, right? We just essentially, there's no thumb in this bad boy.
Nope, and we're not gonna need a thumb.
Yeah. Okay, so the way you get hook on your ball, the way you get into a roll is your hand can't be on top of it. It just can't. Like if you're gonna release it like this, your fingers can't actually get much rotation or roll or anything like that on the ball. It's just on top of it.
It's not a powerful position. The days of, you know, stroking it down the lane and not getting a whole lot of power on the ball, a lot of revs, a lot of versatility with your hand, those days are over. I promise you. It's power, it's speed, it's revs. And how do we do that?
And we're probably talking to a lot of two-handers out there, and what they do, and what the good thing about two-handed is your hand has to be under it. If your thumb's not in the ball, and your thumb and your hand's on top of it, the ball's just gonna fall off your hand. So two-handed bowling requires your hand to be under the ball. Now for us one-handers out there, we're still gonna use this. We're gonna try and get into this position so that way we could have our chance at a kind of a heavier roll style.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take our thumb out.
So this next drill is gonna be same thing, no step. And this is gonna teach more of the modern day release of what is incorporated in the release. So Brad's gonna get to the foul line here. He's gonna do the same exact thing, but no thumb in it. Now, you notice when he doesn't have his thumb in the ball and he holds it there, look where his hand is. It's dead under it. It can't be on top of it, or else the ball would fall on the ground because you don't have a grip on it. So he has to be holding the ball.
And when we do the drill with our thumb in it, we're trying to get into that position. It's obviously easier with your thumb out of it, but that's the whole point of this drill, is to try and feel your hand coming under.
Yeah, and this drill is also gonna work well for one-handers or two-handers, either one. So Brad, go ahead, and what Brad's gonna do here is, since he has to be under it, in order for him to release the ball, his hand's gotta uncoil. You've probably heard that term quite a bit. His hand has to uncoil this way to even get the ball really off his hand. So Brad, let's do one where you're not trying to hit it, you're just holding the ball. When you go to release it, you're just uncoiling that hand and feeling it off the fingers. Nice, very nice.
And all we're doing is trying to teach ourselves a feel. You gotta have good feel as a good bowler, and you gotta have good feel at the foul line. A lot of very small adjustments, a lot of very small transition that happens in bowling, and you gotta be able to make these small adjustments, and that's what this drill does. It just focuses on the actual position of the hand.
Yeah, so again, practicing these. This is more, I would say, a more advanced tip. But even if you're just learning, even if you're just getting into the game, learning this release of uncoiling your hand and having your fingers follow through is huge. One-handers out there that are practicing this drill, again, this is a feel thing. You're never, as a one-hander, if your thumb is in the ball, you're not gonna get to this position. Two-handers are. Two-handers are 100% gonna be in this position. But one-handers were not, but it's a feel. It's getting our hand closer to it. It's understanding what this motion feels like at the bottom in order to incorporate it. So, you know, you can practice this, but in reality, your hand might still be just halfway under the ball, which is fine. But if we can just keep creeping, it's gonna make the world of difference on getting more power. So again, we're up here, we're nose stepping. I'm not even really taking a backswing. I'm just feeling my hand uncoil and ripping it off my fingers.
Spinnerino.
Bang.
Yeah, so now we took our 4 shots, couple with a thumb in, couple with a thumb out.
Yep.
When we get done with you know, if people look at you weird because you're not taking a full approach in practice, whatever, you gotta do some foul line work. So now we have the 0 step, and once we do that, it's important to just slowly incorporate things you learn at the foul line back into your approach. If we put 30 minutes to an hour of work here on feel and then just go directly into our full 5-step approach, it may not translate very quickly.
It's hard when you throw all the other variables into play in the approach to like get your release.
Because there's 4 or 5 steps worth of momentum, there's a bigger swing on the ball, and then now, yeah, you might have had great feel when you had 0 steps, but you throw 5 steps in the mix, and now all of a sudden your feel is not very good anymore, even though you just worked. So it's important to slowly incorporate this so your brain continues to kind of figure out. So now we're just gonna do a 1 step.
So we're just gonna add a little motion into this, right?
Yep, all we're doing is just a little bit of motion, and then once we get comfortable with that, we'll add a little bit more motion.
And you're gonna do
same deal.
Thumb in, right?
Yep, thumb in. We're trying to get our hand under it, and then there's gonna be a load and an unload, or a coil and an uncoil.
Good.
And we're just
Bang.
looking for control, balance. We're looking for all those things when we're just at the foul line. Even if we have five steps and a bunch of momentum, we still want control.
Yeah, when I work on this drill, you know, my general idea is that when I'm here, I like to take a couple practice swings just to get my swing loose. And all I'm feeling is my fingers really on the under part of the ball. Now also when you're doing this, you don't want to try to create the reps with your shoulder or with, you know, your elbow or your arm. You're really creating, I mean, your elbow needs to be bent a little bit to get under the bowling ball. But my point is that I'm not getting out of control and slinging my shoulder at it, my head's moving. I want everything to be pretty steady, and all I want to do is take a couple practice swings, feel my hand under the ball, and then when I'm ready here, I just right under. Boom. That's simple. Free. We're not looking for a ton of movement here. We're not looking to hit the crap out of the ball. I'm just trying to get my hand under it and feeling that uncoil motion.
Have there been moments in your career where you're really struggling and then you just put 3-4 days worth of work on a foul line drills, and then all of a sudden your next tournament you're just so much better?
Yes, absolutely. My best performances come right after my worst times.
Yeah.
So like when I come in the bowling alley, I'm just feeling awful all week, but I stick to it and I go back to the basics. I try these drills, I get my feel down. And then all of a sudden, it'll just click. And then you'll create this feel or this new feel that you're like, oh my God, this feels amazing. And you can just attack it and go after it and repeat it.
And you have room.
And you have room, and all of a sudden the lane opens up. But it doesn't do that unless you work on these basics.
It doesn't just magically happen.
No.
It's the stuff you put in.
And it's not one time practicing this.
No.
It's not going to the bowling center, guys, and working on this one time. It's weeks of doing this, you know, keeping this as a habit. Once you get it down, just do it a couple times a week. You can warm up.
Yeah.
We warm up with these drills all the time. Even before this shoot, we're up here on the foul line just working on our release a little bit to make sure, okay, it's good. Now let's go back to the approach.
Yeah, and you're not gonna build yourself a beautiful release with a ton of range working on your second step in your approach. You know, you gotta get
into the weeds here, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so foul line drills. What did we learn today?
Yes.
We're gonna learn to nose step it and practice for you very beginners out there, and even as a good repetitive drill, getting those fingers, getting that thumb to clear, and then the fingers following through. And then, you know, working on the modern release. You guys need more reps, struggling with reps, or just wanna get that uncoiling motion better, more down pat. work on doing the no-step drill with no thumb in and getting that hand to uncoil and almost throwing the hand down. Just getting that palm to go down, not up. We don't want to hit up on the ball. We're throwing it down, letting that ball uncoil.
Yeah, ball comes off your hand and then the arm just kind of stays natural. There's not a ton of muscle involved. But guys, head on over to BrowardandKyle.com and check out some of our merch. Go buy some.
H5G, baby.
Go buy a jersey. We love H5G. And,
we have jerseys now. We've
we've
never had jerseys. So H5G is a great
times.
company, great partner with us now, and we're happy to be a part of them. So go help support. Go check out some of our stuff. Let us know what you think.
See you later.